Hey guys, what's going on? Jags Money here. So this is not scripted or anything. I just wanted to talk about the recent patch from the other day. P plus 3.2 dropped, and heard some interesting things about it in terms of what it was trying to do for the scope of it. And I'll go over all of that here before we go any further. But essentially, it's a bit of a dumpster fire from what I can tell. So we're going to go over everything and also go over what's been going on with this. So just to get started, when it comes to the general stuff, I do want to preface this by saying that this is not taking shots at the devs. It's changed hands a couple times now. Motobug's not part of the team anymore, so it's in different hands now. But essentially, this is more so just to maybe think about this a little bit more. It's just some criticism for the team to maybe change how they're doing things, because this is kind of unprecedented at this point, this level of the issues that we're having. So it's a pretty big patch. So like I said, don't want to overplay any issues, but let's go over it. So the first thing is just going over what the patch was trying to do. Most of the character changes are not a big deal. There's a couple that we'll go over just to point them out, but I'll kind of go over the biggest things. So the first big thing, which was the main thing everyone was really excited about, was this right here. The frame 1 physics delay, or the 1-frame physics delay, has been fixed. Right? This was something that back when I started playing, 2015, 2016, around that time, that was seen as an unsolvable problem. Like, there was no way of fixing this. This was just going to be a quirk of the game forever, and thinking about fixing it was a pipe dream. And it looks like it's happened, according to the notes here. It means that you move out of your jumps and out of your air dodges on the first frame of input rather than the second. So that makes movement a little snappier, obviously. They've said they've changed it to kind of not change jump heights or things like that, but it does mean you have one less frame of total air time, technically, because that first frame you're moving instead of that first frame you're kind of hovering over the ground. But essentially, it's not a huge change it shouldn't be a huge change in terms of what characters are able to do, but it should just make the game feel snappier is kind of the idea, but we'll kind of see that might not be the case. When it comes to the second big change, it is this change right here. Characters now enter teeter when reaching a ledge after a wave dash or special landing, which is like melee. So, and to override it, you just hold forward and you'll slide off, basically. Once again, same as melee, but essentially they've added melee teetering to the game, which, doesn't seem like much, but it's actually, people have already found some crazy stuff in terms of utilizing that. So those are two pretty big ones. Most of the other changes are bug fixes, casual mode stuff like this final smash meter thing, go down to the costumes and aesthetic stuff. So it doesn't seem like a huge patch outside of that. The main balance stuff that has come out, this change right here for Roy, second hit active, second hit of Nair, not a huge buff. From what I heard, this was kind of an adjustment in response to the 1-frame physics delay, making it a bit tougher to actually get the whole thing come out. Added this active frame is what I've heard. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I've been hearing. And then this Toon Link change, strong hit of his side B is 2% more him. And then the big one for balance is this one. They reverted Wolf's back throw. Wolf's back throw after the update was terrible. Now, whether you want to say that is a big deal or not, whether, maybe you shouldn't have this throw to begin with, and so making it not a good throw is fine, is completely up to you, but that is something that happened, and they have reverted it. I personally like this change. I think Wolf's been nerfed enough. It's fine. But moving on to the bigger problems, is that this patch is extremely, extremely buggy. And to an unacceptable degree is what I would say. Now, in terms of some examples, there is this really good tweet by Mr. Tuck himself. And as you can see here, this is just stuff that they found on the first day of playing the update. Unintended changes, weird interactions. I'm sure this is just the surface level. I'm sure it goes way deeper than this in terms of the actual issues. I'll go ahead and play this right now just so you see it, and then we'll go over everything.
Okay, so they fixed the Din's camera issue. see.
That wasn't a great example, but. Great song for this.
Dude, I got it. Cool. Well, the good news, you're blue, but...
Okay. So to go over everything in that really quickly, this first thing is not necessarily a bug, but it is an unintended change. They used to be able to do this. Ivysaur and ZSS could edge cancel their upbeat tether reel-ins, but not too long ago, in either the last patch or the patch before, they removed that. So they should no longer be allowed to do this. The patch notes do not say anywhere that this change is being reverted. I doubt it was intentional. And yet, here they are. They can clearly still do it, right? So, didn't mean to do that. I would imagine it's a byproduct of the teeter change, would be my guess. But now they can edge cancel again. So
Okay,
there you go. Now, this one is
they
very
fixed the
obvious. I doubt I have to really say too much about this. Her side B just is not coming out. Just nothing is happening. Obviously, this is a bug that has to do with one of the changes that I didn't mention, actually. Probably should have mentioned it first. Is that Zelda, her side B DINs, no longer affects like the camera zoom and everything. So the camera won't egregiously and aggressively track the DIN's fireball at the detriment of the characters. Which, honestly, this has been going on for 10 years. I'm honestly shocked this wasn't just a feature at this point, that this was a unintended interaction. I'm kind of shocked that that's where this is, but apparently it is, and now they're trying to fix it. But the problem is we are now getting Zelda side B doing nothing. So once again, just like, I don't know how this slips through in any way, shape, or form. It's just not acceptable, obviously. Not playable. And then this one is obviously unintended. Now, I don't know how this would happen. Knuckles did have a bug fix, but I don't think it had anything to do with his jump. It's more so footstool and recovery issues refreshing the ledge. So doesn't have anything to do with his jump height or his ECB or anything to do with something that would affect this. And yet somehow, just from a full hop, he gets a no impact land, just automatically, apparently. So that can't be right. You would think it's because of the one frame physics delay removal, maybe changing his jump height, but they specifically said they adjusted it to where that should not be affected. And yet this is a completely new interaction with no other changes. So something's not interacting quite right here, clearly. To move on to the next one here. And then now this one apparently was already in the game. This one's probably the least important of all of them, but it's obviously janky and should not be happening. I'm sure they could fix this with a little bit of time. So that one's not a huge deal unless he can be hit, but I don't think he can because it's during cape. He's probably intangible anyway, but just kind of a funny one as the last one. I've seen multiple instances of some pretty goofy teeter cancel stuff. There's a clip of Ganon doing a up B directly from the bottom of Battlefield and immediately teetering on the top platform edge of the platform and immediately turning around and forward tilting. Pretty crazy. Honestly, I thought it was pretty cool, but probably not intended. There's also some other stuff that Tuck lists here. Yoshi's roll doesn't seem to be working right. Footstools are messed up. They're either going way too high or way too low compared to where they were before, probably having to do with the physics delay change. The XPK fires apparently really easy. I know that the DJC timings were affected by the one frame physics delay removal as well, but even Rizal down here acknowledges that it does seem a lot. So that's kind of what's going on total here in regards to the newest patch. Now, this clearly isn't acceptable. This is really what I wanted to talk about. You can't be putting out official patches that are actually completely competitively unviable. You can't use this build in an official tournament and have anyone take it seriously. You can't. And has this ever happened before? I don't think so. I don't think we've ever had a patch that was this bad. We've had patches before that have needed hot fixes. That's definitely true. But we have not had any to this level to where you literally cannot play this build in a tournament and take it seriously. It's completely busted. I've seen some of the devs talking in this Discord server with lack of testing being an issue. Obviously, where that stems from, lack of testers, lack of the testers that are currently there doing what they need to do, lack of communication. Who knows where that problem stems from? But clearly, there's an issue here when we're putting out patches like this. Now, something I brought up to the devs in the Discord server, whether they're going to listen to me or not, who knows? But, if we're going to say that the play testers are unreliable, or that we are not able to test it within closed doors, however they're doing it, then, and we're just going to release the patches anyway, we can at least advertise this patch or patches like this as a PBE or player test realm, where you throw the patch out there, you say, hey, do not use this in official tournaments. Officially, we will still be on the previous patch. You can even leave the previous patch's download available, and then just say that, hey, this is for testing. This is going to be the newest build with all the balance changes. Test it to make sure there's no bugs, but otherwise this is what is going to happen. And then people can do that. They can report bugs as they come into them and work like that. In those cases, we're at least making it clear that this buggy build that we shouldn't be playing in tournament is not the official newest release that is taken seriously. There are plenty of games that do this. How ethical it is to not have your own playtesters, whatever, but these people are making this game for free, so I'm not going to complain that much about that, obviously. And nor am I saying anything about the hard work of those developers or of the playtesters or anything. Obviously, this is a scuffed patch, right? We can all agree this patch is super scuffed, and it immediately needs a hot fix if we are going to take this patch seriously. So, given that, we need to make that clear. We need to acknowledge that, right? So that's all I'm saying. Let's acknowledge the problem. Let's figure out what we need to do. Does the team need to be redone in a certain way to where testing is going to happen more and more reliably? Do we need to just do PB builds where put these out into the wild and leave the old build as the official one for tournaments, and we get all the bugs fixed and get all these issues taken care of before upgrade it to the official patch, right? Do we need to do that? Because, and I know people are thinking, well, this is just a mod, who cares? I understand that, but this is not Project Acania. This is not PM Remix. This is not something like that. This is P+, Project M. This mod is a big deal. It has a strong reputation of being a very serious game, in not just in competitive stances, in its development, that it is a extremely polished mod that is competently made and is about as reliable to play as even base Brawl is. That is the expectation. That is the precedence that Project M and P+ has. So putting out patches like this haphazardly is not a good look for the state of the game. Just isn't. So once again, I am not calling out devs. I have named no devs in particular, and I will not do that because there's no need to. But it is something that dev is watching this. However that happens, please, obviously, you are aware of the problem. Figure out what we need to do to get these patches to work better, to make the game reliable like it always has been, to where you can boot up the game and it's bug-free to the highest extent, and we're not having moves not work. We're not having obvious breaks in the code and breaks in the game like that, where mechanics are not working as they should be. Having changes that affect balance that are not being reported in the patch notes because they are completely unintended. That can't happen, right? So that's all I was here to say. I felt like someone needed to say it. Obviously, people have said things about it, but it's been in Discord servers. It's been on Twitter. Figured someone should actually talk about it. So there you go. There's the current state of the patches. It's a dog shit dumpster fire right now. And hopefully they get this fixed soon, and then we learn from that, and patches in the future are cleaner. That's pretty much it. Comment below with any questions. I'll get to them, or if you have anything to add, of course. But other than that, I'll talk to you later, and hopefully make some more videos soon. Let me know if you have any recommendations for stuff to talk about. I'll see you later.